Hey, it's Deborah Atkinson, host of Flipping 50 podcast and the Flipping 50 TV show. And I'm here with a myth busting that someone wrote in, asked me a question, and she didn't actually know that she was giving me another myth than she intended to. And it is this. She ended her question with, "It's really hard to make a change." That, my friend, is the myth. Here's the truth. We make it really hard to change by the number one is we say that because, and if you haven't listened to this, I want you to go listen to the Flipping 50 podcast. And I released this episode on September 30th, Monday, September 30th, with Dr. Ellen Langer, who is the first female professor at Harvard University. And she is known as the mother of mindfulness. How's that for a title? But she began looking at mindfulness, meaning how we think about things, the way we process things and what we believe, and how that actually affects the outcome of what we're doing, whether we are exercising and we don't even realize we're exercising because we're simply very active in our work. She's done some studies proving that once you realize, oh, what I'm already doing is exercise. This is the equivalent of things that help me lose weight, reduce my blood pressure, improve my body composition, give me more energy, make me sleep better. Then by not changing anything physically, only the thought about what you're doing, you can improve. So if that interests you, go listen to that podcast, and then you may want to actually get her book after you do that. But it is the belief about change that makes it hard. If you say to yourself, or you say out loud, which is to yourself and the world, it's really hard to make a change. It will be. But if you can change your language, and I know this sounds silly, like just changing the syntax or changing something about what you're doing could actually have an impact. But the truth is, yes, it absolutely can. So when you say, instead of, "It's really hard to make a change," which may be kind of where you're coming from, if you can say, "I'm not good at this yet because it's the first time I've done it. Because I'm used to an old way of doing things, and as I change and do this new way, I will struggle just a little bit as I'm making this my new habit. But as I make it my new habit more often, I will get better results and I will feel better, and then I'll become more natural at making changes. And once I make one change and it becomes positive, I will find it easier to make another change." Do you see what I just did? So it's connecting the dots. It's not hocus pocus and saying all of a sudden it's so easy to make changes. But then again, isn't it? Right? So it's a matter of changing a thought. So if you say it's really hard to make a change, it will continue to be really hard to make a change. I have a lot of clients and followers in our Flipping 50 tribe that sometimes summertime comes and traveling and the holidays, they're coming up. They're a better example yet that it's really hard to eat well during the holidays. If you say that to yourself as you approach the holidays, it probably will be true, right? Because you planted that seed that it's going to be true, and you've almost made it okay because you've said it's impossible really to do this well, so I'm just gonna cave in and give in to temptation, right? But if instead you say, it's really easy to do the right thing as long as you put yourself in the right situation. Like, you don't bring the cookies and the cakes into the house. You don't bake. You exchange that tradition for maybe making a craft instead, and exchanging crafts with your friends instead of exchanging sugary, fatty kinds of foods that make you wish you hadn't had them. So think about the language you're using. That is the myth. It's not really hard to make a change. We make it hard to make a change. So make it easy. Pick 10 ways that it's easy to do this. And even though this is different than what I used to do, it's easy to do this. It's easy to have nuts and seeds for a snack if they're sitting out in a dish, as opposed to candy that I used to have sitting out on a dish. It's easy to have a salad for dinner if the vegetables are already cut up and the lettuce is already in the refrigerator. It's easy too. So make it easy for you to succeed and to change, as opposed to using language that tells you otherwise. Let me know if that was helpful. I would love to hear from you, because we could talk on and on and on about changing your mind. And leave your suggestion. What myth do you still believe, or wonder if you should believe it because you're hearing controversy about it? And I'll see you on the flip side.